So every business owner, especially small business owners that I know of, have this one folder, a cast folder that is full of invoices, full of PDFs and photos from WhatsApp and emails everywhere, that at the end of the week you have to open Google Sheets and start typing manually the debt, the supplier, the amount, line by line, like it's 1990s. Now imagine this instead. You drop an invoice, literally just drop it, and 5 seconds later everything is structured inside your spreadsheet. You have clean rows, you have clean columns, everything is ready for accounting. No copy pasting, no bookkeeping software, no APIs that you have to pay for, no subscriptions. Today I want to show you how to build a system yourself using n8n, completely automated, extremely cheap, and honestly very addictive once you start. By the end of this video, invoices will never touch your keyboard again. So let's jump right into it. Just search n8n in your browser, and if you haven't registered, make sure you register and then sign in. And then the first thing that you'll see is this. So if you don't see this, maybe you'll see something like this. Just click on create workflow, or you can click on this plus icon, workflow, and then in personal. So I guess by this point we are all at the same stage. It's always good to make sure that you name your workflows appropriately. So I want to name this one invoice generator. Okay, so jumping right ahead, our first node, we shall have Telegram. We shall be using Telegram because Telegram is very easy to integrate. And so our first node shall be on message. So we can test. You see everything is okay. Let's stop that and then continue. And then, so what we expect from this message is a file. We expect a screenshot, an image, a PDF that shall be sent to our n8n server. So our next node, because we receive a file, and what we get from this node is not actually a file, it's actually pointers to that file. So in our next node we have to download the file so that we can process it. And so we shall search for, again, Telegram. And then make sure you select that node, get a file, and then it's good to rename your nodes. I shall call this one download. File. Okay. And then there's something called credentials. We'll link videos to connect your Telegram account. So, but this is what you shall do basically. Sorry about that. So you shall come here and then create new credential, and then you can go to Telegram, set up a bot, get an access token, paste it here, and then you're good to go. I already have an account that is linked to my n8n. So the resource is a file, and then operation is get, and then file ID. That's what we are going to work on next. So let's execute this and then try to send something from my Telegram, and then we see what happens so that we know what we are expecting from our trigger and how to get this file ID. So I'll put my screen, my Telegram screen, so that you can see it. So let's execute the workflow. So again, let's execute the workflow, and then I'll put on my screen. So let's send a message from our Telegram. Yep. So we have an error. So what we'll do is we'll first delete this node and then send the message first. All right, everything is working as expected. So our next, we can see what we receive from our Telegram. We have all these kinds of things, but we have our file ID. We have the photo, we have the file ID. You can see the first one, the file size, and then usually the last one is usually the largest size because they are usually compressed in levels. Okay, so our next node once again is going to be a Telegram node, so that we can be able to download our image or our PDF. So get a file, and then you see everything from the previous node, we have it here. So what we need here is our file ID, and we are going to select the file ID of the largest file. You can select either of the two. I'll go with the largest file, and so I'll drop it there. Yes, I guess we are good to go. And then next from here, we're going to have two nodes that are connected to this node, and the first one is going to be a HTTP node. And the purpose of this HTTP node is actually to search up the image. You're going to use an external engine. You can use OpenAI, but because we want to make sure that everything is free for this video, we are going to use OCR.Space, and this is the URL that you'll copy. We'll provide the links to all the resources for this video, and then we make sure you select send headers, and then the name of the headers, you can select API key, and then you can paste your API key. We'll teach you also how to sign up for OCR.Space. Is pretty straightforward. Once you head to the website, you get the API key, you paste it. Don't bother using this one because I'll just delete it immediately after this. And then you also have to send a body, because you have to send the image that we want the engine to convert to text. And then for the body content, make sure it's form data, and then type by n8n binary file. And then for the name, you can just write file, and then input data field name data. And then we are also going to add another body field, which is form data. Make sure you specify the language, and then language is English. And then another body field, which is also form data. And then this is required by OCR, so it's overly required. Make sure you write false, and then add another body field, detect orientation, and the detect orientation, make sure it's true. And then we're also going to add another field called scale. Set it to true, and then we are good to go. So I think I'm just confirming if everything is okay. Yes, everything is fine. So we expect text from this node. So our next node is going to be a code node, and I prefer running my code in JavaScript. I'm pretty confident in JavaScript as compared to Python. And so for this node, we are going to add some code. Just paste. You'll get the resources using the link in the description that will guide you to where you need to find the resources. So basically what this node does is that it passes the data that is we get from our OCR engine, so that we can convert it to something that we can use. And then from here we have to check if we have errors, and once you hear someone mentioning if, that means you use an if node. So for the if node, we'll check if there is an error. So json.error. Does not exist. And then we can proceed with what you're doing. So if there is no error, that means the record is fine and we need to update it in our sheets. So we shall add a Google Sheets node. And yes, append row in a sheet. And then again, setting up your Google account. You can search on YouTube or you can check our other videos. We already made a video about this, so you can link your Google account. So I'll close because I already have an account linked. So once you link, you select your account and you're good to go. So make sure you select sheet within document and then append row, and then choose. I'll use this one, and then don't mind my naming. I just used a random sheet, so that's why it's called music. And then we'll map each column manually. So you see we have the invoice number. I've set it up to have invoice number, to have the invoice date, total amount, and the due date. You can set it depending on the requirements you have for your record. For me, for the purposes of the tutorial, I just went with the invoice number, invoice date, total amount, and the due date. I'll just try to make it simple for the purposes of this tutorial. So so far so good. I think we should try and run our workflow and see if it works. So let me execute the workflow. Let me try and send an image. This image, I just found it online. So we have an error and I forgot to do something. This is not a get request, it is a post request. So that's why you're getting method not allowed. So change it to post request, and then I'll execute again and then try to send the image. You see, everything works fine. We have a problem here, and the error is language is invalid. I guess these are some of the things that you'll run into. And so let's go back to our language. I think it has to be ENG, if I'm not wrong. Yes. So I hope this is the last time we are trying. Let's execute it again. Let me send the image and see. Yes. Yes, everything seems to be working fine except this last node. What is the error? Yes, so so far so good. We are receiving everything that we need to receive. And so what we can just do is just drag these parameters and drop them here. For the invoice date, just drag the invoice date. For the total amount, drag the total amount. You can add the vendor, currency, notes, and all of those things. So for the due date, we add the due date, and I guess let's execute the step and see if everything. Yes. So once you see this kind of output, that means that the record has been updated. You cannot be able to view my other screen, but be rest assured that the record is updated. And so if there is an error, we better send a message to the user or to our phone and let us know that there was an error and we couldn't send the message. So send a message, send a text message. Yep, this is what you're looking for. And we'll select chat ID, come to this node. Okay, yes, this one, and then look for this chat and then the ID. So what you do, just drag it and drop it there. And what you can write, you can just say something like we were not able to update, unable to add the records due to an internal server error. Please try again later. And then I think we're good to go. Up to that point, I think everything is okay, and I hope your system is running fine, just as mine. So another node that you're going to add straight from our getter file node, we want to make sure that every receipt that we use, we store it somewhere, so that for the purposes of bookkeeping, we can be able to refer some other time. So we'll add another node, search Google Drive. Where is Google Drive? Here. And then what we are going to do is upload a file. So let me first close this one, and then drag this arrow to connect it to that node. Let's open the node so that we can set it up. And once you set up your Google account and you enable all the services, you won't have to set it up again for another node, be it Google Drive, be it Sheets. They'll all use the same API key. So once you set it up, you'll be good to go. And so the resource, make sure that it is file, and then the operation, upload, input data field name, just name it data. And then for the file name, I'll name mine Invoice, and then I'll get the date. How you get the date? Sorry, let me turn this one to an expression. So make sure you turn it to an expression first. So it's a $sign, and then now dot format. Yes, I guess we are good. Tab. I'll also need the hour, the minute, and the seconds. Yes. So the file will be uploaded, and then you're not done yet. So from the parent drive, just select from your drive, and then the root folder. Just make sure that you have a folder that you can save your stuff there. For me, let me save it where let me save it here. Doesn't matter. So I think up to that point we are good to go. And then here you can actually view the file. So this is the invoice or the receipt. So you can also download it, but our intention is saving it to our drive. And after here, because we need all of this to have run before we proceed to the next step, we are going to use a merge node. So search merge node, and then we have two inputs, so we are going to use two inputs. So I'll delete this one and then add it again. Also add it again, drag this one, add it, and then append. Yes, I guess that is what is expected. And then after that node, you don't have to do anything else there, but after that node we are going to set. So search for set, select, and manual mapping. So let me execute. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pin my data here, press P, and then I'm going to execute. Okay, I pinned. Let me just send the file once again. Yes, and then I'm going to pin this one. Yes, so everything is working as expected. The merge node is appending everything and sending it to the next node. So let's come to our set node. So the fields that we want from this one of them is our invoice number. So that is one of the things that we want. The other thing that we want is our invoice date. The other thing that we want is our total amount. Yes, and then what else do we need? We need our due date. And then you can also use all these other things. Let's use the vendor. Is there a vendor? I thought there was a vendor somewhere. I can't seem to find it. It's fine. Let's use the name. The name of the invoice. What else? Yes, I guess that's it. And then execute the step and see. Yes, so that's what we have at the moment. Because we're getting the name as null. Let me just get rid of it. Then execute the step. Execute once. Okay, everything is all right. So our next node is gonna be now an AI agent. The reason why I placed it here is because I want it to summarize everything that has been done by our workflow and then send the message back to the user. So we are going to search for an LLM and then AI agent. Okay, we are going to use this one. And so for the AI agent, define below, and then what we have here is called a user message. You should just copy it from the resources and paste it. And I guess we are having errors here and there. So let me open it up and see where the issue is. So you have JSON the vendor. We didn't manage to get the vendor, so you're going to get rid of the vendor. And then currency, I didn't select the currency. We can get rid of that. And then due date. Okay, I can see the due date here. We can get rid of this. Remember, this is just for the purposes of the tutorial, but if this is something that you actually need, make sure that you add them. And then this one, we can just use the web content URL. Let me see. All right. I think that's just fine. Okay. So I think what else do we need? We need something called a system message. And what a system message does is basically controlling the LLM and letting it know what should be done and what shouldn't be done. So add an option, system message, paste it from the resources, and yes, we're now good to go. So for our chat model, I want us to use something that is very affordable, and it's called OpenRouter. OpenRouter. So select OpenRouter as your chat model, and then let's select cloud model. Let's use Anthropic. Yes, let's use that one. And then I think we should add some memory, just a simple memory. And then for the session ID, select define below, and then key. Yes, so we shall use our chat ID as our key. And then for the context, for the context window, set it to 5. That will actually work well for you. And then after this one, the only thing that is now remaining is letting the user know what we've actually done. So Telegram, search for Telegram, send a message. Yep. And what we are going to be sending here is just a message, and then the chat ID, we'll find it from somewhere here. Drag the ID, drop it there. And then for the text, we're expecting a field called output. So just bear with me. Write JSON.output. We're expecting a field called output from the previous node, and I guess we are good to go. Everything is now set. So let's try and test our workflow. Yes, let's go on and see. Yes, so everything has been executed successfully, and I've gotten a message. Thank you for submitting your invoice. Invoice from April 24th, 2024 has been processed. Data yada yada yada. Your invoice has been saved to Google Drive and added to the invoice database. You can see the message here. This is the message that have been sent, and just imagine how useful this tool can be. So now you already have a fully working automation where invoices go in and structured data comes out with zero typing. And this is honestly the beginning of what you can do with n8n. I've been working on a lot of real world automations, lead generators, WhatsApp responders, CRM updaters, content pipelines, and all these kinds of things that people pay normally, but you can run them yourself. So I have a small community where I share all of my workflows that are just ready to import, and it's cheap. It's just $1. It's just basically nothing, the price of testing, if you actually like the automation. So if you want to stop watching tutorials and start collecting systems, the link is in the description. And if this video saved you 10 minutes of manual work, make sure you hit the like button, because that tells people to keep watching and helps me to keep releasing more free automations like this. See you in the next build.